Hi, welcome back to Happy Apple Core Homestead. This is part 2 of the Catawba wine series. And if you haven't checked out part 1, make sure to check it out. I can link it up for you here. What we're going to do now is transfer this wine into that bucket there. We're going to taste it, we're going to backsweeten it, and we're going to stabilize it. Then it's going to go into 1 or 2 of these 1-gallon carboys. Everything you see in front of me has been sanitized. We have a wine thief, a hydrometer, a spoon. We have an auto siphon as well as the tubing that goes with it. We have 2 airlocks. We also have some measuring cups and spoons. We also have some potassium sorbate and some Campden tabs. I've got a bottle of Everclear here. We have distilled water and we have sugar. Don't worry if I'm rapid firing at you. Everything's going to be down in the description box. This wine was started 5 weeks ago. It has finally reached the end of its secondary fermentation. I'm not sure if you can see here on the camera, but there's about a good 2 inches of lees on the bottom. We need to get this off the lees because it really can impart a poor flavor to the wine. Also, since it's not fermenting anymore, this is a very large headspace here in this carboy, and the wine can spoil. So it's important that we get it off the lees and stabilize it for its next step, which really just is clearing and becoming a beautiful, tasty wine. I am going to taste it, just a tiny little taste to see how much sugar I need. The way the wine tastes today is not how it's going to taste later on down the road, so just keep that in mind. If your wine is a little bit sharp, it's not going to stay that way forever. Now that we know everything we're going to need for this next step, I'm going to get you a little bit close. We're going to take this wine and put it into that bucket. And the reason why I'm putting it into the bucket is because we are going to stir in some sugar and also the Campden and the potassium sorbate. It's just a lot easier to do that in a bucket than in a carboy. All right, we have our carboy here. You can see how high the lees are. We've got a sanitized bucket on the ground here. We're going to remove our airlock. That's going to be cleaned later, so it's okay if it's just sitting off to the side. And we are going to grab our auto siphon. And here's all the parts. Rubber end down. Goes in just like so. And then this hard plastic part is going to go into the carboy, and the soft plastic tubing is going to go into the bucket. Now we're going to want to hold this because the goal is to get the wine out and keep the lees in the carboy. So we're just going to give this a couple pumps. It's a little bit of space here, so don't want to make too much of a mess if I can avoid it. So we're going to pump that. And we want to try not to suck up any of the lees on the bottom. So I'm going to be very careful how deep I let this go. And once this is empty, I'll get back to you. So you can see that there's a tiny, tiny sliver of wine left here on top of the lees. There's not much wine in the bucket, so I'm pretty sure we're only going to need 1 of the 1-gallon carboys. But we really just don't want to suck up a ton of this stuff, and I'm pretty happy with the way this looks. So let's head on over to the kitchen to add the sugar and the stabilizers. The first thing I'm going to do is just grab a tiny bit of this wine and taste it to see about how much sugar I think might need to go into it. So I'm literally just taking the tiniest bit and putting it in this cup here. And we'll give it a quick little taste. It smells pretty good, a little bit sharp. This tastes good, very sharp, and very much the way a Catawba grape tastes, which to me is very much like a grapefruit. So if you love grapefruit, I think you're gonna love this wine. I think it needs quite a bit of sugar, so we're going to get some sugar added to this. We can taste it afterwards if we want to. I might, or I might not. I don't know. But let's just get some sugar going. This is what the distilled water is for. I'm gonna do 2 cups of sugar. So we're just gonna put that right in here. And I'm just gonna use enough distilled water to, you know, kind of get this sugar dissolved, which maybe like a cup or so. It doesn't really matter, it's not gonna change the quality of your wine to use just a little bit of water here. And I am using distilled water. I don't always, but I do think it's best if you do. The grapefruit flavor is actually more accentuated, but the tartness and the kind of the bitterness has gone down. So I'm actually gonna do, which I almost never do for such a small batch of wine, I'm gonna do 2 more cups of sugar. Okay, we'll give it another taste here, see how that did. Okay, you guys, that's it. That's beautiful. I love it. There's just enough of the tart flavor mixed with the sweet. It's really beautiful. I like it a lot. I'm gonna stop there. Stop while I'm ahead. And I do also have, as you know, I have my wine journal, so I'm just gonna note that I put in 4 cups of sugar. That way, if I ever wanna make this again, and I love how it turns out, I'll know what to do for next time. And we're also going to put in 1 teaspoon of the potassium sorbate. My spoon's still a little bit wet, so I'm just gonna do it this way instead of diving it in. And this is a 1/2 teaspoon here. So we'll get that going. And then, so originally this was kind of like a 3-gallon recipe, but it's turned out to be more like 2 or less. So I'm not going to use 3 Campden tabs, I'm only going to use 2. And to crush them, I just put them in a little plastic bag and use the bottle to crush them. That is sufficient. And then that goes right in here. And that's going to stop the fermentation, it's going to sanitize the wine. Of course, you know you should have been sanitizing everything as you go. So this wine should not be contaminated, but these are the rules, folks. I don't make them. So make sure you put in your potassium sorbate as well as your Campden tabs. We're going to stir this up real nice. And then I'm just going to cover this up with a cotton cloth just to make sure that no contaminants get in it while I head over to the sink and clean out my auto siphon and also my Carboy, because if you leave your Carboy and you don't clean it out until like the next morning because it's nighttime right now, you will regret it. And also I need that auto siphon without the lees and the extra goo and stuff in it to put this wine into at least one of those 1-gallon Carboys. So I will be right back. Okay, we've got a clean 1-gallon Carboy here. We've got our wine in this bucket. And I cleaned my auto siphon. So let's go ahead and get this transferred over. As I showed you before, rubber end down right in here. And the flexible end goes into the 1-gallon Carboy. Hard end goes in here. Take this out. I'm just going to give it a little bit of encouragement. And we're going to let this fill up. I'm not exactly sure how full this is going to get, but I do want it to be as full as possible. So we're going to just let this go and check it. If there's a lot left over, I'll put it into that other Carboy, but if there's not, we're just going to stick with the one because our goal is way up here to the tippy top, almost no airspace for this particular wine. Okay, we got 1.5 gallons. I went ahead and filled this one. I'm going to use this one as an experiment just to see if it spoils because of the headspace, which it very well might. If you have a smaller than 1 gallon container to put this in, I would highly recommend it. So I'm just going to experiment with this guy, but this one is what you're looking for. So there's wine all the way up to the neck, and you'll want to install your airlock. And the reason why I'm putting in an airlock instead of a solid bung is because we backsweetened, and I just want to make double sure that it doesn't start fermenting again. So I'm installing the airlock here. I have two options. We have distilled water and Everclear. It doesn't matter. I just happen to have still this extra Everclear, so I'm going to use that. Distilled water is fine. And I just fill it up halfway. And this will tell me in the next week or so if it starts to ferment again, because I'll see this bubbling up. If it does not bubble up in the next couple weeks, or really just like the next few days, if I don't see bubble action in here, I'm gonna probably take this out and put a solid bung in and just let it rest. So I'm gonna do the same thing for this one. We're going to install the airlock just to make sure. Make sure you put something in there, distilled water, Everclear in here, just to make sure that it's locked up. Put your lid on. So here's our experiment to see if the wine's going to spoil, being half full. And then here is our beautiful one, which I expect to be lovely and amazing. What we're going to do is we're going to leave these alone for the next 2 to 3 months. And after 2 to 3 months, this is going to clear quite a bit, and then we'll come back for part 3 of how to make Catawba wine. My hope is in 2 to 3 months, we'll be bottling this wine, and I'll be able to give you great news, perhaps on both, but we'll see. We're going to experiment. Everybody in winemaking says if you have a large headspace, your wine is going to spoil. So we're just going to test that theory since we have a very full one and a half full one. And I'm going to bring you back after this has a chance to clear and settle. I'm going to bring you back in 2 to 3 months, and we're going to look at the color variations, the smell, the taste, and we're just going to do this experiment together. And let me know what you think down in the comments. If you think that this experiment is dumb, or if you've tried it yourself and you already know what's going to happen, let me know. And I think that's it for today. Make sure you stay tuned. I have a ton more stuff coming up for you, and I will see you next time. Bye!